handed me my pen back and he said, "You son of a bitch," he said, you know, you're making me sign this contract and I don't, you know, I have to think about dancing now. And I said, "You'll thank me later." And he did.
I was suspicious, to say the least, about why he would not allow the insurance doctor to do a blood test on him, or any doctor for that matter, because he insisted that we go to his doctor in Italy. We did ultimately receive a report on his blood scribbled in Italian on a piece of paper that said he was in full health.
In a way, yes, he was not the best custodian of his own gift. You see, the thing that kept Rudolph going when he shouldn't have gone anymore was the same passion that made him what he was to begin with. So you couldn't, in a way, say, "Oh God, why doesn't he stop?" It's obvious he didn't stop because he couldn't. He loved it so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are invited to an audience with the king. Rudolf Nureyev, the most celebrated dancer of our lifetime in Rodgers and Hammerstein's The King and I. Also starring Liz Robertson as Anna. For the first time, see Nureyev command the stage in the show that commands your heart.
Rudolph loved performing, and his home was the theatre, I feel. And so as long as he could get into the theatre, I think it gave him a purpose. I don't think hiding his illness was a performance. It was just, the performance was a means of making the day go by, and it was the only way he wanted to spend the day.
We'd get in the limo, we'd stock up on some food, maybe some wine or some beer, and we'd travel more often than not into the dead of night to the next city. And I can't tell you the number of gasoline attendants that would get a glimpse of Rudolf Nureyev standing, you know, in the middle of a deserted highway at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and realizing who they were in the presence of.
At the time that Rudolf Nureyev was here, I had the pleasure, should I say, I was an usher here at the Playhouse Theater. We certainly knew that this was a legend coming into our theater. He was on stage every time that I came in. He was on a stage at the ballet bar, and he was on a cellular phone the whole time.
His heart wasn't in The King and I to the degree that I think the producers and certainly myself would have liked it. He was always thinking about the ballet, and there were numerous faxes flying to and from throughout the whole period of the tour. I think when he realized that he wasn't going to achieve what people hoped he was going to achieve in The King and I think he decided to give up. This is not for me. I find some other way of performing for my fans.
He got a really fairly good review in our local newspaper, and you know, he wasn't the best actor. I mean, this wasn't his forte, but he was very good, I thought.
The critics, for the most part, were unkind to him, but he made $1 million in the first year, and the audiences packed the houses. He had a standing ovation after every performance, whether it was a matinee or an evening show, whether it was a small city like Portland, Oregon, or a major city like Boston, Massachusetts. He never complained about his physical malady. He coped with it in an extraordinary way. On one hand, he realized that time was running out as there was no cure for AIDS, but he sped his life up so that his activities were increased. He conducted and he choreographed and he continued to dance.
It was really for him a reality, more real than life. You know, the dancers used to gather backstage when he was on stage, and they would weep because you could see how much he loved it. It was spiritual.
saw ballet at the age of 6 first time, and of course I was flabbergasted, and I knew that's what I'm going to do. I remember when I came to the kindergarten next morning, there's one room with a crystal chandelier and parquet floor. I was dancing away. I knew without any doubt that dance I'm to be, and that's what I'm going to do.
First, I have seen him on the Kir stage when he was dancing, being pupil of the choreographic school in Leningrad. I was fascinated by his dancing.
And everybody said to me, "No, how talented you are." And finally something came, clicked in my mind that nobody's going to come and take me by hand and do or show me anything. I had to do it all myself. So that's what I was doing ever since.
Rudolf was out of himself with happiness because he dreamed to dance again on Kirov stage. He was at that time 53 years old, I believe, and he wanted to demonstrate that he is still a great dancer.
Of course, it was difficult. It was difficult for him. And here I understood that this man, he is between the life and the dream. He is between the life and the dream. And these two parts, they try to divide him. When you come in the country which you left near 20 years ago, it is not easy to dance. The small pupils asked me, "Marina, you always told us about his great jump, about his pirouettes, about all, but he could not do it now. He did not do as we imagined it." And I answered him so, "Children, you must not think now about his pirouettes. You must see how he's acting. Have you seen this character that he created? It was wonderful."
Когда поднялся занавес, я первые такты вообще не слышала, потому что начинаются мои движения. Я вообще не слышала, когда мне вступать, потому что шквал просто был оваций.
We were standing and we applauded, and all of us